So I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Midjourney has recently received a major update on its sister platform. Niji-journey has already been updated to version 5. However, each of the past 2 weeks has seen it come out with 2 new styles. And these styles are a pretty big deal. The first one that came out is called expressive. They say they took concepts from 3D rendering and applied them to anime. Some of the highlights include a realistic eye style, subsurface scattering, which is crazy, ambient occlusion, which is kind of hard to understand, but it involves using soft shadows on particular objects in a scene. And the last highlight is high chroma, which basically means that the color of the picture is going to be more saturated and rich in expressive. And the newest style released just the other day is called cute. It's adorable. This version of Niji has its own set of highlights, one of them being a cute eye style, also known as extremely adorable face stylization. It also includes flat shading in the generations. They say that they reduce the effect of lighting on a composition, which will result in a delicate and flat color scheme. I found this one to be very interesting. Negative space is actually a highlight of the cute style. And lastly, and I'd say this is pretty noticeable, there is strong detailing in these pictures. Look how such a simple prompt can make a beautifully cute picture. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, Midjourney has over 4 billion seeds for every prompt you write. And for every prompt you write, there is also Niji-journey, which you could generate in, the base anime version. But now, within Niji-journey, there is also 4 billion expressive seeds and 4 billion cute seeds. I just got goosebumps. That's insane. There are so many options to choose from. Midjourney and art generation as a whole can be kind of overwhelming. So in this video, I hope I can show you some comparisons and hopefully narrow down what you're looking for. And if you've learned anything new, please leave a like on this video so we can share it with more people. Thanks. Now, before we get to the comparison, I want to teach you how to use these styles. Like literally, what do you type in to use them? The good news is that there are a couple different ways. First, you can use it just by talking to the Midjourney bot, and what you need to do is type in --Niji space 5. That's the first thing you write after your prompt. And if you just left it like that, you would get the base anime version of Niji in the Midjourney bot. However, for the extra styles, after the 5, you're gonna put a space and then put --style followed by a space, and then the word cute or expressive. In my prompt here, ignore the V5 at the end. I have V5 as my preferred suffix, which means that no matter what I type, that will always show up at the end of my prompt. But I can include any other version I want before that V5, and that version will take precedent over anything in your suffix. The version that gets mentioned first is what the prompt will generate. So Niji 5 style cute is more important because it's first over the V5. Are you with me here? The other way you can experiment with these styles is by talking directly to the Niji-journey bot. If you're not on the Niji-journey server, I'll leave an invite link in the description. And then what I recommend you do is join one of these image generation channels, make a picture, whatever you want, imagine whatever you want, and then you're going to react to the picture with the envelope emoji. That will create a private message with the Niji-journey bot. And this way, it will give you some extra easier options to access these new styles. For instance, you can hit /settings, and you'll get a couple of options that are different than the settings in the Midjourney bot. Like here, it'll show you your current suffix, which shows up at the end of every one of your prompts. The default style is just Niji 5, but if we wanted to just generate on the expressive style, you could enter your settings and hit expressive style. Now, no matter what, whatever you type in, style expressive will show up at the end of your prompt. You can also click on cute to change it to that. And on April 23rd, we'll get access to another new style. Another 4 billion options, just mind-blowing stuff. This is where you can also change the style value, which basically means how much influence the style is going to have on your generation. A low style value is considered around 50, although I think even lower is okay. A high style value is 180, even though it goes up to 1000, and I think you'll see why when we get to the comparisons. And a very high style value is considered to be 400. Again, even though it goes up to 1000, you might not want to go much higher than 400. And for the record, style medium is just 100, the default. It doesn't even show up in your suffix. We're almost at the comparisons. I want to show you one more thing to make this all go much faster for you. I want you to turn these extra styles into custom arguments, which means you'll be able to summon them so quickly. You're going to hit / and then the word prefer, and you'll see a bunch of different options here. Suffix, remix, option list, auto DM, option set. I want you to click on option set. Right here, it's showing you all of the different shortcuts I have already set into Midjourney, and here's how to make your own. The first thing you're going to enter is the shortcut. It's the keyword that you're going to use to trigger the longer phrase. So for instance, I would use the word cute, or even just the letter CU would probably do a pretty good job. But the next thing you need to do is click this +1 more on the right side of the prompt. It's going to change what appears above. Now it says value. We're going to click on value, and this is where we get to write honestly whatever we want that is going to connect to the shortcut. So when we write cute, we actually mean this, blank. Whatever you want. You can write entire prompts using this shortcut feature. For the purposes of this video, we're going to input the new style, and this is where you write it out completely. -- Niji-5 style cute. You're going to hit enter. Now in your prompt, all you need to do is input the shortcut, but keep this in mind, it needs to be -- I know we set it as just cute, but what that really meant was -- cute. The way to access your shortcut is the same as any other parameter. It includes a -- first. So -- cute now means Niji-5 style cute. I know it doesn't say it here, but once it generates, you'll see. I think you should set the same kind of shortcut for expressive. I use -- and it works great. You see, Catwoman, Niji-5 style expressive, and I didn't have to type that all out, I just typed the shortcut. Okay, now that that's over with, let's get to the comparison between these styles. I've got a bunch of different examples of prompts to show you. Well, let's dive in. Here is a super simple example off the start. Futuristic sports car. On the left, we have Niji-5. In the middle, we have expressive. And on the right side, we have style cute. These are all using the same seed, by the way, to minimize the variation. And what do you notice? I'd say not much of a difference. Maybe the color palette is a big one, especially on the cute side of things. You're gonna get your lighter colors, your pinks, your purples, your light blues. The regular Niji-journey may just look more like a traditional anime. And the expressive style might have small hints of realism in it. It's kind of hard to tell. Well, let's go to another example. Another super simple prompt. Neon Batman, all using the same seed, except this time we're going to see what happens when we change the style values. Starting at the bottom, we have S0, regular Niji on the left, expressive in the middle, cute on the right. I don't think you can tell much of a difference at a lower style value. Moving up to S25, which a lot of people like as a style value, especially in Niji-journey. We're starting to see little bits of differences, not much. Cute has some differences, expressive has some as well. And I mean, look at the difference between number 1 at S0 and number 1 at 25. Like that's quite large. And this right here is what I want to showcase to you. The difference between S25 and S200. A huge difference, the biggest. We can start on the left here, from S25 to 200, night and day. I mean, things get really complicated up here. Expressive also complicates itself a little, but I do love the color palette that comes out of it. And I know it said that cute had a good use of negative space. I actually really like the use of negative space in expressive sometimes as well. And I mean, look how cute number 3 is here. Like that's just adorable. Cute probably lives up to its name the most. And maybe you could argue expressive just isn't the best name for that style. I don't know if that's true, but cute definitely nailed it. So what I think you should do is experiment and stylize values between 25 and like 150. Because as you'll see here, the differences after 200 are negligible. AKA, what's the point? We can start on the left. There's barely a difference in composition. The details, yes, obviously it's not the same picture, but the composition, identical. Same with expressive. Pretty cool pictures, but if I changed the order, would you know that these are 500 and these are 200? Probably not. Cute, also identical. I mean, I happen to like this number 3 a little bit more, but you know what I mean? And, there is a bit of a difference. These 3 characters don't show up here, but you see what I mean. And the difference between 500 and 1,000, also barely a difference. I mean, look at number 2 and 500, like, look, these are nearly identical. There is barely a difference in all of them. And if you want to run these experiments yourself, let me show you the easy way to do that. Going back into Discord, we're going to use my favorite new feature, permutations. Keep in mind this can only be used with fast hours, but it will save you a lot of time when you're running specific experiments. So we're going to hit imagine, and I'm going to type in dog dude. Why not? Then we're going to hit the squiggly bracket. And this is where we're going to type in our shortcuts that we already made. X, comma, cute. Now those 2 will give us the new styles, but how do you get it in just the base style? The key is to just include an extra comma, which basically means a blank space, which means the prompt will run naturally on Niji-5. Close it with a squiggly bracket. Now you have that prompt on the 3 different styles. But then we can also experiment with the style values. So we're gonna hit --s space, which is important, squiggly bracket, and then we're gonna include some different values. I honestly don't recommend 0, so I'd say maybe 25, you can do 75, and 200. Now, while that's a good way to see all your different options, you're going to be choosing from random seed. So if you really want to experiment and see the differences between these styles, here is where you should specify a seed number. --seed, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Hit enter. And now we have set up 9 prompts just that quickly. We're going to show the prompts. We have dog dude expressive at this style value with this seed number. We have cute, and then we have regular Niji-5. Huzzah! So now you've seen how to do these comparisons on your own. Let's go through a couple more. I chose the prompt, portrait of a futuristic medieval knight, confident pose, fauvism style. And you know what? For this particular example, I did not include a seed number. I wanted to see as much variation as I could find. Niji-V5 on the left, expressive in the middle, cute on the right. Starting in S0 and moving on up. I think it's a lot harder to tell the differences between the style values going up, but it's still pretty easy to see the differences between the style values compared to each other. Like just from 0 to 25, I think I like Niji-5 the best. It's a toss-up between Niji-5 and cute. I like what I see here. I mean, that's really cool. They're all kind of beautiful. Expressive is a little more finicky to use. I'm not sure when it's ideal to go with expressive, and maybe that's just a personal preference thing. Because here's S25 to S200, look at the difference in Niji-5. And maybe this is a good example of what the stylized value actually does. A lower stylized value will follow your prompt more strictly. A higher value can kind of stray away from what you wrote. So S25 means that fauvism style comes through. It's listening to what I said. A higher stylized value of 200, and it throws fauvism out the window. It's just doing a medieval knight kind of futuristic. I think they're beautiful, but the color is gone. And to be honest, now I'm kind of a fan of expressive. I mean, I just got goosebumps. I think these are so beautiful. Love number 1. Love number 2, actually. That negative space is wild. And I know negative space is kind of a cute thing. I mean, you see it here as well. Love all of those. S200 for expressive and cute. Pretty big fan. And then up to 1,000, Niji-5 is pretty cool, but there is a lot going on. It's sort of a sensory overload for your eyes. Kind of hard to tell what you're looking at, even though it looks beautiful. Expressive is pretty cool, but maybe I just prefer it at a lower value. And cute, also pretty good, but again, maybe the lower value is what I'm looking for. I've got 2 more comparisons to show you. This first one is going back to using the same seed. Portrait of an Instagram model, confident pose, super flat pop style. Not much of a difference between 0 and 25. Pretty big difference between 25 and 200. Again, my recommendation, somewhere between 25 and like 175. Because after 200, even all the way to 1,000, there is barely a difference. I mean, sure, number 2 is not here, but look at number 1 and look at number 3, it's the same. This last example does not use a seed number, but it might be the best example of what type of prompts work well with Niji-journey as a whole. And that is super simple prompts. You do not need to write out a lot. Niji already kind of leans towards characters, so just typing in Tiger Wizard can get you some pretty cool looking pictures. Starting at S0 with Niji5 on the left, expressive in the middle, cute on the right. This is a good showcase for personal preference. Which do you prefer? Maybe it's just a novelty thing, but the cute aesthetic is so pleasant and so fun to look at. I mean, for months now, I've seen a lot of pictures that look like the expressive style, but I don't see much cute, and it's a breath of fresh air. Up to S25, like, you know, Niji-journey, just like Midjourney, doesn't really create any ugly pictures, so these are all beautiful, these are all cool to look at. But are you starting to see a preference? I mean, I like one of them from all of them. Number 4 in the base is amazing. I think number 3 and even number 2, I like a lot of expressive, and cute is just freaking adorable. But look how different it is from S25 to S100, the default. And that's why I say maybe between 25 and 175 is your sweet spot. I mean, the base model is almost unrecognizable, expressive gets a little more sophisticated, and cute looks quite different. Like extra cute, but quite different. 500, base Niji sort of devolves into nonsense. I mean, look at number 3 here. That's just kind of hard to process what's going on. Ugh, it's tough. Expressive is pretty cool. Again, a lot going on though. And cute has more going on, but I'd say is still the most coherent. And then up at 1,000, it's pretty hard to tell what's happening in the default. I'm not sure why you use that. Expressive, also kind of hard to tell. And cute, I mean, look at number 3. Like what? There's a lot there. But at the same time, number 2 is quite simple, so it's kind of a toss-up. Alright, I was not planning for this video to be this long, but there's your comparison between these new styles and some tips on how to use them quickly and efficiently. I hope you're doing well, take care, and I'll see you next time. Peace.